I have a dramatic scientific observation to share with you today. You should never believe anything an atom tells you, because atoms make up everything. Boom! Hello team, it is good to have you here, good to have you back. We're doing something a little different today. As you know, we've had some trouble with YouTube and Murray County. For whatever reason, they think my videos aren't good enough for you, but you know they are. What we're going to do is we're going to switch away from the stories of coming of age, and we're going to prepare for the end of the semester by going over a test. So I have a review for you guys. Now, your semester final in this class is going to be on USA Test Prep, and so I've built a review for you in USA Test Prep. It's basically a preview of the test. It's not the same test, but each question does cover the same types of things. So we'll have the same number of passages, same number of questions, same types of questions, just different passages with different questions. All right. So we're going to work through this together. I'm going to give you a preview with one passage. So I'm going to walk you through one passage, the thinking process I have, how do I use this study guide. Okay? So we're going to do that today. First thing you need to do is pull up your, what is this thing called? What's it called? Class link. Thanks. Thank you. Class link. Pull up your class link, and we need to get to USA Test Prep. If you do not have USA Test Prep on here, you need to click this little add button, and you need to type in USA, and you should see USA Test Prep, and you will add it. Okay? If you are not sure what to do, rewind the video and watch it again. USA Test Prep. Pause the video if you need to do that. Okay, so you have USA Test Prep as an application you can select. Go ahead and click it. Click, click. My view is very different from yours, so don't worry about our views. Mine's just very different. You should see an assignment there called, what's it called? Let me get back here. For you guys, it's going to be called the 8th ELA Semester 1 Study Guide. Now, if you clicked, because some of you might have clicked USA Test Prep and you have to have some kind of login screen, here's what you're going to do. Look at my screen. I'm going to zoom in for you. Here's some instructions. And if you need to pause the video, go back to this, you can. But the account ID is BCMS 487. Okay, I'm going to highlight this so you can see. It's BCMS 487 is the account ID. Your user ID is your first name dot last name. Okay, so Bobby.Smith or whatever it is. And the password is Bulldogs, all lowercase, Bulldogs. If you have not joined my class yet, that's what you need to do. You need to click Join Class. It's the orange button near the top right. Look for Fairber and look for, maybe for you guys it's not remote. It's going to be whatever class you're in. You'll see the list of classes. And then don't look for this one. This is not what we're doing today. You guys are looking for the one I just showed you. Where is it? Right here. 8th ELA Semester 1 Study Guide. Okay? Again, if you were not able to successfully log in, rewind this, follow the instructions again. If you're still having problems, reach out to someone near you. Reach out to a friend. Don't reach out to me until you've tried yourself a couple of times and you've also asked a friend to help you out a couple of times. If you still can't get in, please send me an email. All right, so we have the study guide. We're going to go ahead and begin this. So go ahead and start the exam however you start it, and I will run you through the first part of how to do this. All right? So my view should look very similar to your view, and I'm going to walk you through a certain number here. Okay, so you are here, and we're going to talk about a certain group of questions. We're going to work through one passage together today, and I'm going to walk you through the thinking process, because honestly, these tests, most of you should get pretty close to 100% on these tests. They're not so difficult. But what I've noticed where a lot of us falter, or where we fail, is when we're not taking the time to really read each question, each answer choice, and really think about them. It's like our brain hits the difficulty and we just go, I don't know, B. I don't know, that's a lot of words, C. But really, if you stop and think, you can get each one of these correct pretty much without too much difficulty. So this is how you should use this study guide. Let's scroll down to there we go. Question number 14. Now, I noticed that what's different about this is I can't highlight, but you guys can. So that's kind of a bit of a bummer. That is a bummer. I really wish I could show you the highlighting, because I think that's important. So, actually, let me see. Can I? Nope, I can't highlight. Okay. But I'll go ahead and use this. If you would follow along with me and highlight, that would be great. We're going to start by reading this passage first. And I'm going to think through the passage as we read it, and then we'll handle the questions. So as a study guide, this should be kind of what you're doing. So follow along with me where it says, "Thanks, Coach." "Thanks, Coach" by Clark Benson. Josh helped one of the last guests to arrive to their seat at the banquet. Josh helped. So Josh is probably our main character. I'll highlight that. He had taken the lead in organizing the whole event in honor of Coach Wilkins. So he had taken the lead. So Josh had taken the lead in organizing the event in honor of Coach Wilkins. So there's this guy named Josh, and he organized an event to honor his coach. Josh and the other players on the basketball team wanted to recognize Coach Wilkins for both his athletic achievements and his teaching accomplishments. Okay, so Josh and the other players wanted to honor him. So there's a coach. Josh and some players want to honor him. So I can make this a little larger for me. There we go. I need to make this bigger so we can see. Hopefully that works for you guys. Paragraph 2. Besides being Josh's coach, Coach Wilkins was also his English teacher. Okay, so Coach Wilkins is Josh's coach and English teacher. Now I'm thinking all this out loud. Okay, this is what's going through my head. I'm trying to figure out the text. Like who is this story about and what's going on? Josh thought Coach Wilkins was a great teacher and basketball coach. In class, Coach Wilkins always used different techniques to make class interesting. Okay, so he used different techniques to make class interesting. For instance, Coach once told students to relate the books they read in class to their own lives. Thanks to Coach Wilkins, Josh was enthusiastic about reading. So what does that mean, enthusiastic? Josh's shelves at home were filled with books. So if his shelves at home were filled with books and he's enthusiastic about reading, it probably means he likes reading. Okay, so Josh likes reading, and we know that because we read the second part of the sentence. Coach supported each player and always had advice to give on the basketball court. Although Coach sometimes had to correct players' moves, he was never negative or belittling. Coach made everyone feel at ease. The students and other teachers tried to make the school auditorium look as good as possible for the event. Okay, so they made an event to honor him, and they're trying to make it look good. The cafeteria workers made the food for the occasion, and a large group of students worked to help make the banquet even more special. A large group of students. So this paragraph tells me that there's a lot of people working on this. So it shows that they really love the coach. The cafeteria workers and a large group of students are all working together to fix up the gym So this coach is a big deal, and lots of people love him. That's the point of that paragraph. Number 5, Josh and the other basketball players who had just won the state championships. Oh, they just won the state championships. Oh, so they're celebrating that they won. They presented Coach with a special plaque. Josh admired the way the gold writing glistened under the lights. As nice as the plaque was, Josh was more eager to present Coach with a special card he had made. Oh, so they got him a plaque, but they made a special card. I wonder why this card is so special. Each team member had written a personal message to their coach. Josh felt the card would be more meaningful to Coach because it was coming from his team and was filled with their own words. Okay, so the personal touch is more important. Principal Edwards agreed to be the head speaker and to introduce Coach Wilkins, probably at the event. The principal gave a very good speech about how Coach Wilkins had sacrificed his own free time to give more time to the school. He mentioned the sensational after-school tutoring program Coach Wilkins had started to help struggling students. So Coach Wilkins is a good guy. Finally, the big moment came, and the principal introduced Coach Wilkins. The guests stood to show their appreciation for the teacher. They stood up for him to honor him. They applauded as Coach Wilkins went to the stage. He smiled and waved back to show how honored he was. Coach gave his thanks and spoke of the things which inspired him to be a teacher and a coach. As he listened, Josh thought of what he had written on the card. There weren't enough words to truly show how much Coach Wilkins had meant to him as both a teacher and a coach. And so, on the card, Josh had simply written, "Thanks, Coach, Josh." Okay, that's the end of my story. Now, if I had your tools, I would have highlights all over this, but I don't. You should. I'm going to zoom out a little bit now so you can see the questions. So let's handle question 11 together. I'm going to walk you through. So it says, read the passage on the left and answer the following questions. Number 11, if the author wanted to revise this story to add an element of suspense, what change would be most effective? So when I look at this question, I think, okay, they want me to imagine the story a different way. If the author wanted to revise or change the story, how would they want to change it? To add an element of suspense. So which of these answers adds the most suspense? This is a pretty simple question. There are lots of long answer choices, and my brain goes, are you serious? I'm just going to read the one that sounds the best. But I'm smart, and I know my brain is trying to trick me to take an easy path. So I'm not going to read just the answer choice that sounds right. I'm going to read them all and compare them. Okay? And I'm actually going to highlight, if I can, I can't, but you might be able to, highlight important keywords, and you can eliminate ones too. So A, suspense. And I've highlighted it so I can keep going back and looking at it. Suspense. Coach Wilkins would decide to teach social studies and coach varsity football during the next school year. So if they add in the story that the coach changes his job, would that add suspense? I think if they did that, it might add sorrow. The kids might be like, what? You're changing? You're not going to, I don't know that would add suspense. It wouldn't make it like, oh my goodness, what's going to happen? It would actually kind of just be sad. So I think I'm going to eliminate this for now. B, Josh would invite Coach Wilkins' parents, but a delay at the airport might mean they don't arrive in time for the banquet. A delay at the airport might mean they don't arrive in time. Okay, so maybe they arrive, maybe they don't arrive in time. That might add some suspense. His parents show up, they're at the airport. Okay, so maybe this will add some suspense. So that one seems right, and my brain might pick that one, but I'm not going to be lazy. I'm going to actually read the rest of them and see if there's a better choice because it says most effective. The basketball team would present a photo slideshow of memorable moments in Coach Wilkins' childhood, school days, and career. Would that add an element of like, what's going to happen next? They're showing a slideshow. No, that's not going to add suspense. I can eliminate that. And last answer, Principal Edwards would ask the assistant principal to serve as the head speaker because he realized he had another event to attend. Maybe that would add suspense if like the assistant principal couldn't do it or something, but I don't know. This one seems more suspenseful, his parents trying to arrive on time versus just switching who's doing that. So I'm going to eliminate this. I think the correct answer is B. So go ahead and select answer B. And let's look at number 12 together. If the author wanted to rewrite the story as a play with dramatic irony, what on earth is dramatic irony? What change would be most effective? So we want to turn this into a play and we want to add dramatic irony. How are we going to change that? Mr. Faber, I don't know what dramatic irony is. Okay, look, it's a study guide. It's a study guide. So do what I do. Open up another tab, Control Tab, and we are going to look up, whoops, where am I? What's wrong? Here we go. Dramatic irony. Dramatic irony. Now I have a couple examples here, and you can look it up. Let's look up types of irony. There might be several different types. So let's look, and I'm going to give you a chance to do this. I'm going to have you read about dramatic irony or types of irony, because there are several types. 3 types of irony. So I want you to read about different types of irony and then come back here when you do. So pause the video, read about types of irony. It's a study guide. Pause here. Okay, so you read about dramatic irony. You read about types of irony. And let's go back and look at our question. So I read about dramatic irony, and I know it's something that's like when a character doesn't know what's going on, but the reader does. The reader knows what's going on, but some of the characters don't know what's going on. Coach Wilkins would prepare a speech and share his feelings about retirement. Does that have anything to do with us knowing something and no one else? No, not really. The chorus would sing the school's fight song at the beginning and at the end of the banquet. That has nothing to do with irony. There's nothing ironic about that. It's just them singing. A fight would break out among the basketball players, and Coach Wilkins would have to break it up. A fight would add some drama. It would be dramatic, but that's not the question. It's not what would add something dramatic. What would add dramatic? Irony. And irony is where we know something that the characters don't. So a fight, no. Not that one. So I'm left with D, and my lazy brain goes, just pick D. But I'm like, nope, I'm not going to just pick D because I eliminated these. I'm going to read D and see if it actually is the answer. And if it's not the answer, like if I have to eliminate it, then I did something wrong with my thinking and I need to go back. Okay? So we're going to actually read it and see if it makes sense. D. Josh would plan the event to honor Coach Wilkins as a surprise party during a scheduled team practice. Okay, so they're supposed to have practice. The coach doesn't know it because it's a surprise party. He comes in, they throw it, and I go, does that have something to do with character not knowing something but we do? Yeah, we would know about a surprise party coming, but Coach Wilkins would not know about it. So that's D, dramatic irony. Okay. Let's look at number 13. How does the author create such a heartwarming feeling in the story? So the author made some choices to make a heartwarming feeling in the story. Which of these things would be the best answer to create a heartwarming feeling? A, by revealing the thoughts and actions of Josh. Well, what are some of the moments that were heartwarming? I guess the very end, because it's kind of the point of the story. There weren't enough words to truly show how Coach Wilkins had meant to him, both as a teacher and a coach. And so on the card, Josh had simply written, "Thanks, Coach." Josh. That's kind of heartwarming. So A. Wait, no. 13. A. By revealing the thoughts and actions of Josh. Maybe. That sounds pretty good. We hear Josh's thoughts throughout the whole thing. And how much he appreciates his coach. So, yeah, that's kind of heartwarming. Could work. Maybe it's not the best answer. Let's keep going. By revealing the thoughts and actions of Coach Wilkins. Coach Wilkins. It reveals the actions of Coach Wilkins. Are Coach Wilkins' thoughts revealed at all? I don't think so. I don't think we hear any thoughts of Coach Wilkins. So this is probably something I can eliminate because I don't know his thoughts are revealed. C. By revealing the thoughts and actions of Principal Edwards. Well, we do have the principal here agreeing to do something, and it just says what he did, but it doesn't reveal his thoughts. So I'm going to eliminate that. By revealing the thoughts and actions of the staff of the cafeteria. Again, we know their actions. They prepared food, but we don't know what their thoughts were. Eliminate. But we have Josh's thoughts. This is the best answer. A is the best answer here. The heartwarming feeling comes from knowing Josh's thoughts about his coach. Cool. Last one I'm going to do with you today is number 14. Number 14 says, the author wanted to revise the story, so he wants to change it, to allow the readers to understand more fully how Coach Wilkins felt about the banquet and his career. Okay, we want to know how Coach Wilkins felt. So if we want to change the story to reveal more about how Coach Wilkins feels, what could we change? Because right now we don't really know how he feels at all, do we? I know that we know how Josh feels. We know how all the other characters feel about the coach, but we don't know how Coach feels. What change would be most effective? A. Include the point of view of the coach by adding his thoughts and dialogue. Okay, if I add his thoughts and dialogue, would that help me know how he feels about the banquet? Yeah, it would. So this might be the right answer. My lazy brain goes, pick A and move on. But I'm not going to. I'm going to read the others and make sure there's not a better answer. So how did Coach feel? Remove all the details about Josh, the cafeteria workers, and Principal Edwards. If I removed all the details about Josh, the cafeteria, and Principal Edwards, I basically wouldn't have anything left except for a detailed description of what Coach had done. That wouldn't help me know how he feels. And again, this word feels is important. Felt. C. Include more information on the activities which Coach Wilkins was involved. So if we start listing off more information about Coach, will that help me know how he feels? No, because I already have a list of all the things he's done, but it doesn't show me how he feels. So I'll eliminate that. D. Change the details to have Coach Wilkins deciding to teach social studies and coach football. He teaches ELA, but I changed the story so that he teaches social studies and coaches football. Would that tell me how he feels? I mean, maybe it would reveal that he doesn't like his job or something, but not guaranteed. So maybe this one. Include the point of view of the coach by adding his thoughts and dialogue. If I did this between these two, which one would be the most effective at telling me how the coach feels? You got it. It's A. So A is the correct answer on this one. All right, guys. That should do it. I walked you through that one. I want you to walk through the rest similarly. I know it's going to take some time, but I want you to highlight, and I want you to think through, highlight the main parts of these questions, because it will always help you when you go back. You'll get confused and lost. There's a lot to remember. So go back. Make sure you're highlighting important concepts in the questions, important concepts in the answer choices, eliminating wrong answer choices, and you will succeed. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.